Good afternoon, all. This is Nitin Bhone, working as an assistant professor in All India Sri Shivaji Memorial Society, Institute of Information Technology, near RTO, Pune. Today, we are going to learn about the steering systems in automobile. Steering system is automobile. Steering system is a mechanism used for converting the rotary motion of the steering wheel into angular motion of the front wheel to turn the vehicle in desired direction. Generally, steering is done by front wheel back or the rear wheel are mounted on the common axle which is fixed in direction with reference to the chassis. Types of steering system. So there are two types of steering system: Ackermann steering gear mechanism, Davis steering gear mechanism. So the picture, look at this picture showing the Ackermann steering mechanism. The component of the Ackermann steering mechanism, steering gear system is the axle beam, stub axle, kingpin, tie rod, rack and pinion assembly, steering column, and steering wheel. So generally, this steering system, Ackermann steering mechanism or the steering system, is mounted on the front axle in the automobile. The function of each component of the Ackermann steering mechanism. First one, that is the axle beam. Vehicle chassis is supported on the axle beam through the suspension system. The axle beam takes the weight of the vehicle and transmit it to the stub axle. Then second component of the Ackermann steering system, that is the stub axle. Stub axles are pivoted at two ends of the axle beam by kingpins. One end of stub axle carries the wheel and brake drum, while other end of the stub axle is connected to the tie rod. Then third component of the Ackermann steering gear mechanism is the king spin. The function of the king spin pivot the stub axle on the axle beam. Then tie rod. Two stub axle are connected to each other by tie rod. So tie is the longer rod by which we are connecting the two stub axle to each other. Length of tie rod can be adjusted by adjuster. Some sort of mechanism is there, that is adjuster, by which we can adjust the length of the tie rod. Tie rod play an important role in steering mechanism. Then next component of the steering mechanism, that is the rack and pinion. So rack and pinion, in order to turn the vehicle, stub axle need to the oscillate about the kingpins. Oscillatory motion of the stub axle can be achieved by giving the linear motion to the tie rod. Rack mounted tie rod engage with pinion mounted on the steering column. So generally, rack and pinion, by using the rack and pinion, we are just transferring the rotary motion into the linear motion of the tie rod. Okay. Then steering column, next component of the Ackermann steering mechanism, that is the steering column. When steering columns rotate, the pinion mounted on the columns also rotate. Rotary motion of the pinion also converted into linear motion of rack and tie rod. That is the function of steering column. Then steering wheel. Driver rotates steering wheel so as to rotate the steering column. Rotary motion of the steering wheel is converted into angular motion of front wheel. Steering mechanism. In automobile, the front wheels are mounted on the front axle which are pivoted at the point A and B. These are the points capital A and capital B. The rear wheels are mounted on rear axle at the two end of differential. When the vehicle takes a turn, the front wheel along with the respective axle turn about the respective pivoted points, but the back wheel remains straight and do not turn. It is important to note, to avoid the skidding or slipping of the wheels, both the front wheel must turn about the instantaneous center. About the instantaneous center, that is capital I. Here there is a instantaneous center, capital I, which lies on the axis of rear wheel. If vehicle taking a right turn, that is AC and BD is equal to stub axle, that is A and B, that is these are the AC means this A to C, and B to D, stub axle. Then A and B are the fixed pivot, E and F rear or back wheel. Here the E and F are the real wheel. A and B, that is A and B are the fixed pivoted point. AC and BD. AC and BD are the stub axle. Okay. And C is the outer front wheel. Outer front wheel is the C, and D is the inner front wheel. Look at this picture. Your ideas will be clear. Then axis of the inner wheel will be theta. So this is the axis of the inner wheel. Theta represents the axis of the inner wheel, and the phi is the axis of the outer wheel. Theta, this one, is always greater than phi in this case. So for correct steering, B by L, that is this length, B by L, this length is equal to cot of phi minus cot of theta. The working of Ackermann steering gear mechanism is, see, look at this one. When we are taking the right term, the picture clear your ideas. Ackermann steering gear mechanism gives three correct position. When vehicle is moving straight path, theta is equal to 0. When the vehicle taking right turn and turning angle theta is such that wheel axis AC and BD intersect on the axis of back axle. When vehicle take left turn and similar condition obtained above. It consists of all turning pair and it is based on 4-bar mechanism. Thank you all.